Hello and welcome to your back to school night presentation for geometry for the 22-23 school year. My name is Jesky Glenn. Your students refer to me as Miss Glenn. So welcome, let's get started. On the first day of school, I invite all of your students to introduce themselves to me, tell them a little bit about themselves. I want to get to know your students as humans as well as mathematicians, so I also introduced myself to them on the first day, so I shared a very similar slide with them. So I'm going to do the same for you. My family and I grew up in Southern California. That is the lovely humans in the top left corner for you all. I grew up in Southern California, and then I attended University of Oregon for my undergraduate degree, where I majored in math and minored in computer science. While I was there, I was eating, sleeping, and breathing mathematics. I tutored math and was a college TA for math classes while I was there. I have a huge passion for the subject. After college, I attended grad school at Stanford to receive my master's in education. So that is the other two images that you see. I also put this on here to let students know that I am a huge football fan for college sports, and that I like, pretty much any and all sporting and events. So I invite them I ask that they invite me to those sporting events if and when possible, and also know that I am fairly patient and understanding when they have events that would prevent them from being in my class. Here's a quick overview of the units for this class. For those of you who are familiar with the course of geometry, these might seem familiar. For those of you that are not, that's okay. Just as a quick rundown of what things will be covered throughout the year in this course. This is probably about our semester split. Depending on our timing of the year, the quadrilaterals unit could be in semester 1 or semester 2, or shrunk into one of the previous or following units. Additionally, we have a non-traditional grading scale that I wanted to draw your attention to. Every letter grade here is assigned a 20% chunk so that it's evenly split across that 100% scale. The main reason here is that we grade things on a 1 to 5 scale for the class, and to then correlate that to the overall 100% grading scale that is traditional for high school. We need to scale that up. So that's the reasoning behind that grade scale. The homework for the geometry course is quite different from the traditional homework, so I want to make sure that we highlight it here. We want homework to be something that allows students to have additional practice, receive feedback and support on the concepts that they're learning in their class, but hopefully not be a punitive thing that then requires students to spend many hours over a quick span of time to get things completed. So for that reason, here's how our homework works. There are 2 sections to our homework: foundations and then the application extensions. These sections match the types of sections that we have on our tests, so it's helpful and a preparation for our exams. The foundation section is the first page, front and back, and it's the concepts that we learn in class. It's a practice for students. It is not the part that is graded. It is an extra review for students. The second page of the stapled packet is the application extension section. It contains questions that require students to write and justify their thinking. It often combines multiple learning goals from the unit, and this is the section that will be submitted and graded, and I will explain how on the next slide. So here's the process. Here's how homework works. On a Monday, students will receive a homework assignment, both the foundations and the application extension section. They will have a week to work on it. Thursday, an answer key for the foundation section is posted on Schoology with the expectation that students work on the homework throughout the week so that way they can check the key on Thursday and then come to tutorial or flex on Friday to ask any questions, get questions answered about the homework, and so that way students are working on the homework throughout the week rather than over the weekend. Then the following Monday, so a full week later, students will come into class to complete an application extension question, or with the application extension questions completed, and they will have a chance to sit, discuss their answers with a group of peers, change their mind, convince others, all of that good stuff. And then in class, they will rewrite and do a second draft of a specific problem from the application extension section and submit that as their homework. This year, to ensure that students come to class prepared, occasionally it will be the case that we immediately collect the application extension section and grade their first draft, but more regularly students will be given an opportunity to do a second draft so that way their writing is at its absolute best by the time it's something that we are then grading and giving them feedback on. Speaking of grades and tests, there are section breakdowns for tests that work just like the homework. So there's the foundation section and there's the application extension section. We also then have practice work, which is mostly homework with the occasional in-class assignment that could be graded, and then the growth project, growth portfolio. Broken down into these chunks to match the grading scale. This is essentially 2 letter grades, and each of those sections is 1 letter grade of the grade scale. So that's how the grading breakdown will work. These 2 section headers match what you will see on the test. So there's a foundations portion of the test and then an application extension portion of the test. The foundations portion is the largest section. It is supposed to be the core content of our class. And there are 2 ways where revisions will happen there. Exit tickets after an assessment will allow for 2 questions to be revised by everyone in class. And then additional revisions will be available to students during tutorials in the weeks following a test being returned, all the way up to an A and 80%. My keys to success for your students is for them to communicate early and often. They know that if they need help, they can email me either through Schoology or directly to my email, or come to tutorial, which was previously called Flex. So if you've seen or heard of Flex, same idea. It's called tutorial now. It is every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday during school. Students can make an appointment if they would like. My classroom is never required that students make an appointment. However, if my room fills up, I give priority to students who have made appointments. Or they have SFS, which stands for Students for Success, which is free tutoring that happens after school on campus in room 76. There are adult and student tutors, and that is on the following days. So Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, it's from 1:30 to 5:30, and on Wednesdays, it's from 2:30 to 5:30. To contact me, my email is my first name _ my last name at fuhsd.org. If you are trying to contact me, I respond to emails within 24 hours on a workday, or earliest convenience on the next workday if it's sent over the weekend. My ideal would be that I'm increasing your students' self-advocacy over the year. So if you and your child both share a concern, my suggestion, or my request, I should say, is that they be the one to email me, that they get in the good habit of reaching out to their teachers and doing that practice. But if it's a concern that you have that's separate from something that your child is seeing or that you don't want your child looped in on, feel free to email me as well. Again, my email's listed right there. And finally, I just want to note that I want this to be a positive learning experience for this year. Over the past few years, there have been quite the ups and downs, and I understand that life will happen, absences will happen. I expect this, and I've got a lot of patience for students being out. My priority is that your children are safe and healthy. I ask that you communicate with me, or that they communicate with me when these situations arise, because that allows me to better support them. But finally, I want you to know that I see you as part of the teaching team, and that I hope that you see yourself as part of the teaching team for your students. My goal is to work with you to help your students succeed. So please feel free to contact me if you have any questions or if anything comes up.